Hello and welcome to our vantage point atop the walls of Wheloon prison. We have a panoramic view over this area for what will be our level 26 episode of Trials of the Tempest. I thought maybe we could go in and have a go at this, as we can't do Reaper at the moment. We could have a go at the full chain on Elite and see how we go on. I mentioned for level 25 feet that we didn't take Crush Weakness because we had no way to cause Helpless. Well, if I was hanging around at the cap, or if I'd seen this, where is it? This one, maybe I would have chosen differently. When you activate Consecration, nearby enemies must make a Fortitude save or become coward for 4 seconds, making them helpless. So that, coupled with the whirlwind, could make a heck of a mess. In any case, if it does make them helpless, we'll get bonus damage, so it's not a complete misplay, but I hadn't noticed that, so that's something nice to see. As I said, I haven't really done anything with this tree in Epic. Speaking of the trees, we've added some bits and pieces since last time I showed you in here. I think we've got everything we'd like in Dreadnought. We've got some double strike there, the action boosts, the third core, a nice bit of PRR. Here we've got AC and PRR, and we will be looking. I've just put a couple of points in the fortification and hit points just so we can get up into this this next tier. There's a nice bit of PRR there. That I'm not sure how good that will be. Double strike definitely. That one will definitely take and try it, as I'm using Consecration very often, especially against those dreaded psionic champions and end bosses. And I think that's about it in here. I would have rushed to take that when I saw the most forms of knockdown immune, and then I saw the end bit while wearing a shield, and I just thought, I don't think our shield of whirling steel counts as a shield, does it, unfortunately? Right, I think that's about it. There's not much in the way of waffle, because to be honest, my plan was not to introduce too much extra, in terms of epic strikes and epic abilities on top of what we already had that was working. So the things we've got that are working are predominantly everything in the Tempest tree: the Dance of Death, Haste Boost, Elaborate Parry, Growing Storm, and then we've got this obviously from these two from the Deepwood tree: Tendon Cut and Exposing Strike, usually one after the other. And then our bits from Horizon, Mark Target, No Step Mist and Haste. I didn't really want to add in too much more clutter onto the bar from the Epic, so from that side as well it's made sense to go Divine Crusader, because all that we've really added is the Consecration. It's made a change actually to add a predominantly defensive item, because almost always, in fact always, as far as I can remember, I've gone offensive. Dragon Breath, the epic strikes in Fate Singer, the epic strikes in Primal Thorn thing, the Shard Storm, and that, although as I'm sure many of you know, the Shard Storm does have a very good defensive element as well, in the form of temporary hit points. Yeah, it does remind me of the Monk's Cauldron. You go in there, it helps a bit your offense with extra damage, and certainly your defense with boosted heal, especially on Elite, where said healing isn't nerfed. We are, I wouldn't say in a good position against a couple of psionics, because you never are as a melee, but a better position than we would be on Reaper, where we just wouldn't be able to heal through even with those two ticking together. So let's get stuck into some questing and see how we stack up. Now I'm fully aware that in just about, well, no, in all of these quests, there are big groups of opponents, in any of which multiple psionics could spawn and leave us quite quickly in trouble. So I've got to see that straight away, put everything in place that we can, the 2 ticking heals, the haste boost, growing storm, the buffs, the elaborate parry for more dodge, and just hope to outlast them.
To the crumbling warehouse. With their help, you may be able to learn who's been recruiting gangs inside the prison. Their leader signals that he needs to speak with you. A sudden explosion tears apart a section of the building. Then, a mysterious
Okay, this is a
voice
definite
calls out.
spot for haste boost. Can I not be caught in the middle of all this? Now that's our really nice AoE there, coming to the fore.
Then we can start the lesson.
A voice calls to you from a nearby
I guess you
rooftop.
could say
This isn't over.
this is kind of, I'm not bothering with boxes. This is kind of a hybrid, isn't it? Because he has decent single target damage,
Don't delay.
but when we hit the Dance of Death and the Whirlwinds, we do have some nice AoE too. Oh, that's bad. Okay, trigger everything. Everything. Yeah, very quickly that could have escalated. I just saw a couple of crowns there and thought, nope.
The strongest survives. Then I get my
It's the mysterious voice from a nearby roof.
Plenty of lovely big numbers against everything that isn't crit resistant. Let's hit the boost there. Nice, while the boost is running, let's keep going.
A sudden blast blocks your path.
not that way.
Shouts the voice.
We have something else in mind for you.
Come on then, if you think you'd like some. I think there was some lag there. I tried to activate something, nothing happened, hence the pause.
Give my regards to the lizard folk.
Shouts a distant voice. The only way forward appears to be through these foul-smelling drainage tunnels.
Okay. So far so good. But in this time of psionics, you've got to really be wary. A couple of those in a group can really wreck your day. Come on. Am I even going the right way here? Yes. I'm deliberately saving the boosts for tougher times. Maybe I'm being too precious with them, I don't know.
As the lever unlocks the drain, lizards pour out
I think we're doing okay without for now against this stuff, aren't we? It would be somewhat overkill. Get down that way, yes.
A gate unlocks in the distance as more lizard folk attack.
Oh, wrong way again. Line them all up. I think we'll have a boost there. I saw the psionic and just thought, nope.
The voice taunts you from somewhere quite close.
Do you understand?
I'm berating myself for not taking the helpless thing, but for now at least, I'm getting far more use out of the
Decide what happens here.
empower. I just saw the multiple psionics. That's not good. Yeah, for now at least we're getting more use out of the Empower Heal on renewal than we would from the Helpless on Consecrate, I think, even if we had it as an epic
You're almost there.
thing. Oh my god, don't do this.
So you can
How do we even get back up now? We're in a mess, aren't we? Can I even get back up? Oh, I'm not interested in treasure, only in getting back up to the top. How do I get up again? Past you guys. And now I've got all confused as to which way is on, because I've gone the wrong way. This way, okay. Let's stand here, I think. I'm increasingly aware that as a melee, the positioning of yourself, like not to be like here, we had a load of stuff down there. I kind of hid round the corner so they had to come to me if they wanted to attack me, and so that the things at the back couldn't get me. It sounds so obvious, but going back to something like the Tear of Dakan quest that we got hammered in early in this life, I was routinely wandering down long corridors and just letting everything at the back hammer into us as I tried to do the narration, and it didn't work out very well for us, did it? So as the life's gone along, I've tried to use the terrain a bit more to help us into more defensive positions.
We meet at long last.
You can now see that the
To engage on our terms, perhaps, not theirs.
You have
ladders hit the rooftop, and the priest's minions swarm up, ready for battle. Toss the ladders down to help
I'm not going to... Normally, if there were two of us, I would try and do something about the ladders. But with the situation we've got here, I've got no chance. So my best bet is to try to put the boss down. And as we've got a decent amount of AoE and we can hit him at the same time as the other things, we were able to do that. And I suppose you could say, as it's on Elite and not Reaper as well, that did help us significantly.
You are greeted by all of your allies, alive and well. Now, to help yourself to the mad priest's hoard of treasure.
Okay, 1 down, 4 to go. It occurs to me that they're all pretty much like that in Wheloon. Every ending is an absolute mass of enemies pummeling you. This one, ironically, I still can't remember what the quest is called, but I referenced it in a video I made this week about just observations about the Illithid invasion thing and the shield bringer. Well, not so long ago, the end boss in this quest we're going now to got one of these invulnerable... Oh, hello. Let's have a go at you. Got one of these invulnerable shields. And I think the basic idea of it is when any minions are up, you can't damage the boss at all. You have to eliminate the minions to be able to put any damage on the boss, at least that's as I understand it now. And there's that clear indication, that shield that pops up around her to tell you that.
Innocent Wheloon natives made these drainage tunnels into their refuge when the prison was built. Now, their safe haven has been shattered. Slaughtered court, a woman's life ebbs
I
away.
think from that
Her
first
friends
quest
warn her
alone,
seeming the
we
last
can
of
see where the
Now, you may be able to
where
learn
this
further
particular
about
character
secrets
gets
of the
its
other
name, can't
camps.
we? The Tempest, jumping about, slashing the two blades all over the place. It's certainly aptly
A lone
named, in
dog
my
mourns
opinion.
its fallen master. Its piercing howl, a scratchy voice, barks out orders somewhere nearby. You lot
Is
take
the
this tunnel.
sound
Rest
a
of
bit
you
too
go the
loud? I
other
think
way.
it might be a bit loud. Apologies if my voice was being drowned out by the sound. I think I had it a bit louder than it needed to be.
Guttural
These you
snores
can
echo
sometimes
in the
just
stone
sneak
concrete.
past, but I'll get rid of them. They're not too bad. Again, I'll be sorry to see that abundant step, that spring attack go. It's been very nice to have. I still haven't really explored
A mocking voice above
the best uses of it properly, but I've enjoyed having it. Helped me out of many a tight situation and been able to solve plenty of others for me. What was that? Guild level 124. Happy days. I don't think that was me, was it? Did that maybe? That's been something to get used to. Having more than one person in the guild. Before it was just me and my characters. And now
Thank you for protecting us.
I
says
have
the council.
at least one regular
Take this
other
crest
guild
of
member
gratitude.
that's come and
It will
joined
help you to enter
from another
Harvest Hall.
server, so that's been lovely.
The snake crest on the ground may be
I'm
of
not sure
use
he
in
would say the
reaching
same
Harvest
if asked, but I can only give my opinion.
The sick and injured have been loud splashes and guttural growls echo in the tunnels ahead.
Oh, come on, don't. I made a real mess of that, didn't I? Yeah. I was hoping to block up the gate and just hammer them all as they came out, and that was
Are now safe
lamentable.
from the
Loving this upgraded epic ring, 3 charges.
A sign on the wall reads Overflow Control. The bat crest on the ground may be of use
Come on,
in reaching
talk to me.
Harvest Hall.
Now, if you get to a stage where the natives are wiped out, if you didn't know, it just drops the crest for you to collect anyway, so you don't necessarily have to kill all the opponents in here. On the higher difficulties, it happens quite often, at least to me, that the local natives are wiped out by the criminals.
As the gate defenders fall, the criminals force the gates open Gate defenders fall. The criminals force the gates open and pour into the camp.
Nice job. Now where are we? I've got one or two down there, okay. Crikey, where are they all coming from? Still they come, and still they come. Come on, surely, my word. Is it just like an endless respawn until a certain point? Yeah, there you go. That was to illustrate the point I made. The natives have been defeated, so now I could just go at any time I wanted. I think we've probably killed most, if not all, of the criminals, but sadly not soon enough. And this will give me a chance to illustrate another point here. The spring attack is a nice way to avoid the damage from the spell wards by getting quickly out of their area. They get you when you sort of walk slowly through. If you have a sprint boost like our PDK boost or an abundant step or something, or if we'd gone Dark Hunter instead of Standard Ranger, we could of course have disabled them with a bit of luck. You might recall, if you saw that earlier episode, I did discuss the choice there. As we don't plan to stay at cap with this build, I went for the evasion from 9 as a Standard Ranger against 26, I think it would have been, as a Dark Hunter in the Shadow Destiny. See there, she's got the shield because we've got the trash to clear. So as soon as the trash is down, you should see that shield disappear and she'll be damageable again. And then it pops up again with the same to do again. It's the exact same shield the Illithid quests are having from the shield bringer, I think. Oh, 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 oh.
The head of the criminals crumples to the ground.
Just psionics joining in at the wrong time can create problems. I can't seem to collect that, never mind.
You've routed the criminals and ended their scheme to destroy the Wheloon natives. The leader of Harvest Hall motions you over, eager to speak with you. You are welcome to use Harvest Hall as a place to rest and recover from now on.
2 down, 3 to go. So I like to go through here. I completed this chain in Heroic, by the way, so the Old Stone Hall is available to me to go in. I don't have to go back and run back there. This is another one of these wilderness areas that can be quite a rabbit warren when you're first going and exploring. I have my set way through it and I stick to it, and if I deviate from it, I find I get lost quite easily.
I know dealing with the Shadar Kai presents certain challenges. Yet they control the Shadowfell in this area, and this alone makes them an essential part of our plan. Besides, They are the Netherese standing
Go
at
in
the
here
door
and buff
waits
because
to
there's a
enter.
bit of
The few
waffle.
Netherese snap to attention as a dark form
start
emerges
with.
from the shadows. This must be the shade who commands the Netherese recruitment campaign.
Give me a chance to show you that with the latest improvements to the epic destinies, we have a reasonable amount of PRR. Of course, it's not amazing, but
Shade
nearly
vanishes
60%
back
less
into his
damage
tower retreat.
from
He
physical
might
attacks
learn how
isn't
to
bad
reach
at
the
all.
general by questioning the recruiter.
Trigger the boost immediately here, as the trend seems to be in these quests, ambushed immediately by a whole load of people. Come on then, I'm going to hold the door as I like to do. Hopefully nothing comes wandering up behind, because that would not be good. Took a hammering there because there was the odd psionic in there hiding. Oh, and we've got you in here, okay. I should always be triggering the consecration for such an encounter. First, because it helps not to lose too much health. Second, and most important, because it gives me a damage boost too. I love how he gets when he really gets going on the haste boost, just chucking the swords all over the place. It reminds me a bit of the Bear's War Chant to Bard with the sickle, when I had to go with that. Very, very fast attacks. Quite satisfying to watch everything falling before your blades.
Metal in the distance as the gate to the Shade's tower opens.
Oh, shouldn't have gone into the room. Can I not get back yet? Nice defensible position now. Let's go and attack the altar. And while we are doing that, perhaps we could wipe out a few of the opponents as well. Okay, good stuff. I think there's a nasty big one here. Let's hold here. Another big load of things. Nice job. Okay, let's get stuck in there.
An angry figure.
Oh,
leaps
sugar,
from
he's
the
a...
back, furious at being disturbed.
He's a psionic, isn't he? That's not going to end well. This could be a nice illustration of just how long it takes to beat one of these mini-boss psionics down. Look, he's got 60-odd thousand hit points and we're just not denting him. This is an exact illustration of my argument against this situation. We're kind of breezing through the quest in general, aren't we? And yet, the way they've got this set up, the non-crits are doing basically nothing to him. and we're sort of sitting here now for a minute or two, just basically idling. Not particularly in danger of death, but just sitting. So yeah, this side of it is a bit frustrating, and it's one of the arguments that I make for this development being a bit ill-considered. It feels kind of overtuned to me. Now, if we didn't have the consecration to fall back on, this totally would be life-threatening. And look how many boosts we've thrown into it already. That tells you how long this has been going. It's just silly, in my opinion. This is Elite, remember, not Reaper. So I'll leave you to imagine how this would be if we were on Reaper difficulty. And this is a good reason why some of the player base have just left the game in general alone for a week or so until this event is concluded, and I do understand that. So here's a good situation in which to use our abundant step thing to get out of the way of all this stuff without taking damage. If you can't disable them, it's good to put some kind of sprint boost on if you can, to just boost through them. The PDK boost would have totally been alright, didn't need to do the spring attack through there. See, straight away half health from the psionics. You've got to be so careful even on Elite when you meet those things. Okay, I'm not going to bother messing about with the stuff in this room. Go and get the last altar.
The darkness near the Shar altar starts to writhe and twist. A swarm of shadows attacks. The last of the altars topples, ending worship of the shadow goddess inside the complex.
I think things usually come pouring down these stairs. Yep, lucky guess.
A frigid mist drifts out of a dark and foreboding mirror. This must lead to the Shade General turns to greet you.
You are braver than
Actually, this is probably the exception, isn't it? It's not a complete siege. You get 1 versus 1 and then 1 versus 1. And only at the end, when the quest is basically finished, do you get a mini siege of shadows, which has caught me out on more than one occasion.
Plans are in motion too. But I can see it's no use trying to discuss grand strategy with a mere foot soldier. So why don't we skip to the part?
So when will we put the boost? I think we'll keep the boost for the worm. I could and maybe should have shrined before to regain some boost, but I think we'll be okay.
The Shade breaks off his attack.
All things that walk the Shadowfell serve me, as do the things that grow.
That's annoying as well. Now that's something the non-melee don't have to suffer, being pushed away and not being able to get your damage in. We made reasonable use of our haste boost anyway. We attack quick enough without it, to be honest. Now, but remember, because of the prowess set we've got in the sentient weapon, every time we trigger the boost, we are getting a nice 50 bonus to our melee power for those 10 seconds after we trigger the boost. Is that it? Completed? Nope. See what I mean? They can soon surround you when you're not waiting for them. And that's when the quest is completed. Okay, 3 down. The worst one is coming now. This end boss is surely in the running for one of the worst ever, especially if you're a melee and you've got to stand toe to toe with him. I'm not quite sure what we are going to do about this. I can do Hood of Unrest and Elaborate Parry together to get some time maybe surviving against his attacks, but once those wear off we're going to start taking heavy damage very quickly, and I'm not quite sure what I'll do. Will I just turn and run? I have no ranged attack, you see, so maybe turn and run, recharge the health a bit, and then go again, something like that. We'll certainly have to make sure we have enough boost to cover that fight.
All of them Wheloon prisoners.
I want to be getting there with everything we possibly can to throw at him.
Says the Netherese wizard.
Even then I have a sneaking feeling it's not going to be enough, even on elite. He is horrible. In fact, these chain throwers in general are just nasty.
Responds the Shadarkai.
The shadow curse is strong with Karlach. He does this because he must. Did you hear that?
Try to lead reasonably often with the Dance of Death to give my follow-up attack AoE strike through possibilities. Follow-up is generally exposing strike to get one or more of them vulnerable to sneak attacks afterwards, and more importantly not hammering on us. So there you saw we had one bluffed.
Searching the clutter reveals nothing of interest. Searching the clutter
Reveals nothing of interest. I know.
You discover a key while
Happy
searching
days.
the desk. Down below, the
That
Shade
spring
Archive
attack, as I
commander
understand it,
addresses
works a bit
terrified
like the
prisoners.
legendary dreadnought. No, sorry, the Great Leveler is in Fury, is it? I think. I can't quite remember, but wherever it is anyway, it's. I think it does like a similar charge thing, hits everything from you to the target. So if there is a line, as there were
You've
there,
saved the poor captain
can be
from
quite a
being
nice
mauled
one
by
to
the
use.
howler.
It's not a heavy hitting thing, but nice to announce your presence.
Carleth calls to you from behind the safety of a grate.
You must be the
Okay,
one
now
who
we're gonna
killed
need
my
some
pet.
AoE.
Now, perhaps you think you can kill more? Good. Good. It will make me feel
Happy days, look at that. Devastating. That was leading with the Dance of Death and using the Whirlwind attack as well. Now, Dance of Death doesn't actually have to hit to activate. It just has to be sort of swung at a nearby target. But I'm pretty sure that this one, the Growing Storm, does have to hit the target to activate. Otherwise, if you trigger it and there's no target, or you miss the target, you'll see it go on cooldown, but you won't get any benefit from it.
You thought you saw one of the gargoyles move.
Very wary of these chained people. The shadows, we can manage to find the chains. If you let them get a stack of attacks building up on you, it can very quickly escalate into something really nasty. You can see there that sneaky psionic there in the middle of the group very quickly had me down to half health. Those things, I'm telling you, if you're not paying attention, like I often don't, super fast you can be in real trouble. Okay. Now this is it, we've got plenty of everything left, haven't we?
The door is locked. One of the Shade Archai who guard this area must have the
So
key.
if we fail, we won't fail because we didn't bring enough ammo here to the end fight.
Carleth stands before another
But he does
prisoner
hit
trapped in a
horribly
cage,
hard.
you were my favorite.
says the Shade Archai.
I can't
And then we've got
bear
all these
to
dogs
think
that are
what
going to
will
come out of
be.
here. Hopefully they don't make us
My
helpless.
despair will be exquisite.
Okay, we'll get those on. Get the Hood of Unrest on.
Carleth moves to attack.
All
His
the
face
boosts.
a twisted mixture of rage and joy.
So at the moment, we've got big dodge potential.
Carleth lashes out with his spike
But I'm
chain,
afraid
tripping
it ain't
over
going to last for long. Come on, put him down. Yes, nice, nice. Okay. That's probably something that would have had a very different ending had we tried that on Reaper.
You've saved the captive from Carleth's deadly devices.
So between Hood of Unrest, 50% dodge, and our elaborate parry, which would have given us our Dex mod in extra dodge, as I understand it. 24, so we had a really decent dodge there, plus the dodge that we natively have, 18, so we would have been not unhittable, but certainly nicely up there. Now, Let's get to the old stone hall. This last one, mirror, if you don't know the Wheloon chain, I have done a guide on it in the guide section, and on this quest in particular. It can be a little bit confusing, taking place as it does in two separate instances, but once you get the lay of the land, it's relatively straightforward to repeat, and it is worth a truckload of XP, so well worth the trouble to get to know, in my opinion. I'm not going to take the time to explain what I'm doing here. Suffice to say that every time I hit the mirror I am switching between instances, but if you would like to know more, have a little look in the guide section for the through a mirror darkly quest. You'll find it, and there I've taken the trouble to explain the ins and outs of the quest. Basically, we're flitting in and out of two separate instances here to collect 8 orbs, which will enable us to access the end fight and complete the quest. Sometimes in this quest the opponents are fighting the purple dragons in the background, and you can just sneak in, grab what you want, sneak back out again. DDO is quite useful in here as well on occasion, but as we don't have it, we'll be going on foot.
An aura of magic emanates from the light. You should gather any more you find.
Copious amounts of lag in here as well, but we're used to that. So yes, you could DDO here back to the start, because that's where we're going. We're going to be going on foot. Somebody's given me displacement, that's nice. Or is it blur? No, blur. 40 minutes of blur. I'll take that. On elite, that's a really nice layer of defense. Thank you very much. Actually thinking about that, I bet, is it in Saltmarsh? There is a blur clickable, isn't there? Or actually, there's blurry gear. Do we have blurry gear? No, I guess we don't, because otherwise the animation wouldn't be going, would it? Yeah, in Saltmarsh there is a... Is it a smuggler's garb or gear or something, light armor, that you can click on to give yourself a few minutes of blur on heroic. I bet that's upgradable to epic to have a decent duration. I would like to have one of those for these kinds of situations. Although it would be far less useful in Reaper with it being nerfed, it would still do something on Reaper 1.
This door has been blocked off. You will have to find another way around.
There are instances in this quest like that one. You'll learn where they are, where you kind of port into the other reality, or whatever you want to call it, in the middle of a group of opponents, and that can be quite tough. It helps to be ready for that, but obviously if you're running it for the first few times, you're not quite aware of where everything is. That just comes with knowledge of the quest. But if you are ready, you can prepare to trigger a boost or prepare a big spell or whatever you do it for the oh shit moment. Same here, we're going to switch to the other reality and we're going to be in the middle of it again. think I once heard that the professionals have a quick method of using the orb, so you don't have to wait for it to kind of load you into the other instance every time. But as with the tumbling thing to move faster, I'm not that desperate to save a few seconds. I'll leave that one to the purists. Got them all. So we want... There are 4 orbs on each floor. We've just gone up to the top floor and collected our first one. We got the 4 from the bottom floor already. And this is the room with the second one. There's going to be a pile of people coming out here, so we're going to try and hold the door. And we've got a psionic at the back there. There's a sneaky one here in this corridor that opens up when you switch the instance, and also an optional beholder down here, which I will show you.
All of the shadow orb, a cluster of glowing eyes darts in the darkness, betraying a shadow beholder's hiding spot.
I was hoping we might do a bit better against him than this, but the little beggar keeps moving.
The shadow
Okay.
beholder bellows in agony as he dissipates back into the darkness.
Nice little bit of optional experience, and there's always a named item in there, as far as I'm aware, that you can use as sentient weapon food. Last orb is in here. If we had a DDO, we could just collect it and DDO straight out. People don't tend to fight the... oh, we're getting hammered by a psionic there, aren't we? Is it 1 or even maybe 2 psionics? It's 2. Yeah, thought there was something going wrong there. Okay. Yeah, people don't tend to stick around to fight this end boss because... Sorry, this mini boss, because he or she flits in and out like it just happened there. So you just take the orb and get out. D-door out if you have it. If you don't, you can come down these stairs here. Just be a bit aware, there can be a couple of enemies down here at the bottom, not always. Going back to where we started, the DDO would have just saved us a little time. Using the orb so we can see the stands where we've got to put our shadow orbs. Orb again so we can see the bridge it's mentioning.
A bridge of solid darkness has formed inside the Shadowfell. These light pedestals are
Pop the light orbs in,
a subtle magical, the barrier of light disappears,
and up we go towards the end fight. Now this one again, he keeps teleporting between the two instances, so whenever he disappears with and has the shield around him, just switch the instance with your orb.
You've certainly done a better job of damaging my operation than this fool of a cat burglar. I shall force him to watch as I destroy you.
I'm wary of triggering too many boosts because of the fact that he disappears very quickly in the early encounters.
Simpletons. My sorcery allows me to exist in both light and shadow at once. I can easily deal and continue to maintain the Shadowfell Nexus at the same time.
I do like to clear the trash before trying to port into his instance, because they can then interrupt your teleport like that, and if one of your friends has gone in ahead of you, you might be leaving them on their own and vulnerable. Risk a boost now. I think the boost might still be going by the time we land. Yes, come on, let's get him. Maybe we can get him before he goes. Come on. Yes, happy days. See, huge XP for this one. Well worth doing. No particularly nice loot in here. It's one of these like Giant Hold and like Stormhorns that's kind of been abandoned loot-wise and not been revised. It could do with that. It would be especially nice, like the Druid's Chain and all of those, all the ones part of the Evening Star sagas from the ES 1, 2 and 3, the Druids, the Stormhorn, the High Road and Wheloon. Every one has rubbish loot that's been neglected for ages. It would be nice to see a revamp, the likes of which they've done in some of the packs lately. I suppose the thinking is, quite rightly, that people run that anyway, routinely on the way to the cap, so why bother? But it would be just nice to sort of rekindle a bit of interest, you know, in what might be in the chest, and might there be something that that might be good for levelling, something like that. Just a thought anyway. Okay, I didn't think that went too badly. I think it was a good illustration of the point I was trying to make in my discussion about the Illithid invasion in general, the implementation of it, namely that it's forced me to run a lower level simply because on Reaper every crown, and there are plenty of them, is a psionic, and I just can't cope alone with that. I just can't knock them down, and to be honest, it's not particularly fun to, you know, every time you meet one of these things or several of them, you know, they're taking hardly any damage from your attacks, and it just becomes a bit of a nightmare, especially if it's a mini boss, or dare I say several mini boss together. That would be a disaster. So we've gone about it this way for this life. You can see he's more than capable, I think, the way he's carved up the elite, of at least having a go. I mean, that was elite at level as well, or we were actually 2 levels under the level of that quest, so more than capable of having a go at normal R1, I think, based on this evidence. But in any case, I'm going to be doing an epic TR, going back around, and I will test that when the event is finished, and then we'll have our answer. I strongly suspect that it'll be a competitive build in the lower Reapers in epic leveling, especially if it was paired with some kind of crowd control-y caster. My god, it would just tear things to pieces, wouldn't it? Yeah, the thought of doing the damage and not having to take any back is just delicious. Like, well, there was one time I I grouped with the Bears Warlock build recently, which is an Intimidate tank. And yeah, just to be able to nobble everything without it paying the slightest bit of attention to me was great. Okay, I think I've run on for far too long there already. Thank you very much as always for looking, and I will speak to you in the next one. Take care.